Right, this one's another rant. 3 in one day. I wonder how many more I'm going to do. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, and I'd rather not do it all in one video, because that just gets stupid. Alright, so I mentioned Vita in my last video. It's a place I work for. It's in a community center. San Joaquin Community Partnership or something like that. I've got papers around here with info on it. I'm not really that worried about it. So, the chick that runs all the other stuff, because there's Vita, and then there's everything else. Vita is run by my boss in this area, so the chick runs everything else. You know, she reports to the director, the yada yada yada. And I brought Casey and our roommate Will in because Will was interested in volunteering, and I was hoping I could get Casey motivated to do some volunteering as well. And while I'm working, she's talking to them, and I come back out for lunch, and we go outside, and they both start me on this barrage of what she was saying to them. Our roommate Will has some pretty bad teeth, worse than Casey's, and the chick goes, "Well, it's obvious that you don't have a girlfriend, looking at how you look." And that's not okay, first of all. And saying that the only way to ever get anywhere in life is with a diploma, and you're just wasting your life otherwise, and nobody's ever gonna hire you, ever. And just being a complete bitch in the front room, where anybody could walk by and hear her saying this. And tells Casey that the only reason she got hired at Grocery Outlet was because the program she worked for pitied her. And told Will that when he said he can't talk to people, she went, "Well, you don't seem mentally disabled," because he's socially awkward. She thought he meant he literally can't talk to people. And I didn't hear the full thing. I heard bits and pieces as I was walking by. My wife's not a liar. I can trust my wife's word. And then, apparently, Victus is curious what I'm doing over here. But essentially, what ended up eventually being said, I walked by a couple times at one point, and I hear her go, "You know, is that Daddy? Is that Daddy?" pointing to me. Casey thought it was her. She was referring to her. For those of you who don't know, or those of you who've forgotten, Casey identifies as mentally intersexed, or I guess it'd be intergendered. She feels she was meant to be born both, but she wasn't. So we're not sure what. I'm also playing with Victus at the same time. He's just walking around his crib. So I go in after my lunch break, and I tell the chick, "Hey, you know, my wife said that you referred to her as male." And she goes, "Oh, you mean the daddy thing? No, I was talking about you because you had passed. But if your wife is going to choose to be trans and choose to be a woman and choose to live this way, she needs to either girl up or give up." Inside, I started foaming at the mouth. I wanted to rip this cunt's head off. Casey was wearing a women's hoodie, yoga pants, and women's shoes. What she wears does not dictate who she is. Just because you're standing here with long hair, tons of makeup, your big push-up bra tits, and fucking high heels walking around an office does not mean my wife has to do that in order to be a woman. I wanted to murder this woman, because how the hell could you be so goddamn dense when you are working with families of every single type on a daily basis? But because I work there, I just smiled. I said, "Well, my wife can wear whatever she wants. If she wants to dress down, that's fine with me." "Well, nobody's going to consider her a girl if she doesn't dress like one." And this was about a month ago. And I bit my tongue, and I didn't say anything else. I told one of my coworkers about what happened, and the other day she told my boss. My boss pulls me in crying and apologizes profusely, saying that that is not the way the organization works or thinks or acts, and the fact that this girl would dare do that is so against their policies. And I'm going to be writing a nice letter to the head director of the entire program, not only for California, but for all of the United States. That is not okay, what she said about my wife, to her face and to me. I was tempted to blurt out, well, what's your problem with me? I'm FTM. Is that a problem now? But no one knows except for one person. And there's no damn way I'm gonna risk my fucking job. Because it's volunteer work, they can drop me for any reason. I mean, California's an at-will employment state, so technically they could drop me anyways. But because it's a volunteer program, they can just call up WorkNet and say, oh, this isn't working, you're gonna have to give him another assignment. Or they can just say, well, the spot has ended, or yada yada yada, based on me coming out to anyone. So, I didn't say anything to her. I bit my tongue, because otherwise I don't know what the fuck I would have said. And I'm not willing to risk a job that I like because of some inconsiderate, ill-educated bitch who dares to insult my wife. And it still gets to me even after a month, because you're supposed to be at least respectful of other people's life choices. And the fact that she said that Casey, being that way, as far as she knows, MTF, is a choice, she has no right to say that. I introduced Casey as my wife and the mother of my child. That is where her prying needs to stop. And so the reason I refrained from saying anything is I didn't know if it had to be anonymous or not. I also didn't know who to talk to, and my boss has been really busy because people are constantly bringing in taxes, even though it's not even tax season, from former years, stuff like that. So I kept my mouth shut because I didn't want to bother my boss at the time, and now that I know who to go to, you better fucking bet I'm gonna make sure this bitch gets her hair blown back. And this is kind of connected to my previous video. It's not that I wasn't proactive. It's the fact that I am choosing the right time because of the fact that I cannot risk being without a job right now. I still did the right thing. The proper people know. I just am going to take it to a higher level. Because with who I told telling my boss, she told her boss. So the ball went rolling pretty damn quickly, actually. And with this being a volunteer program, I might still get dropped for this. I doubt it, but it's still a worry I have. So, yeah. There's rant 2. And, yeah. I'm sure I have other stuff I want to talk about, so I might record more stuff. I don't know.